Welcome to episode 16 of the Michael Oliver Show.
It's time to play the music. It's time to light the light. It's time to meet the Muppets on the Muppet Show tonight.
It's time to put on makeup. It's time to dress up right. It's time to raise the curtain on the Muppet Show tonight.
Why do we always come here?
I guess we'll never know.
It's like a kind of torture to have to watch the show.
I'm Matt, the Swedish chef. With me is Kosi Bear and Annie Neil Wayne. Sadly, Gonzo G has sacked us off a five-a-side. Kosi, if I was Kosi Bear, I'd be saying whopper, whopper, whopper right now, but you disagree. And we'll come to that shortly. Coming up, we'll discuss the Brighton and Bournemouth games in detail, look forward to the Arsenal game, discuss strikers, whoppers, and a bottom seven update.
I think if we're being honest, Danny is getting himself ready to be our new number 9 at the Emirates. Let's be honest. World exclusive on the pod.
That'll do.
Right, gentlemen. Last week we were sat here, happy, arrogant, cocky. This week we're back to square one.
That's
again.
back to Leeds United fans, isn't it? They're doing that. Yeah.
Back to square one. So, firstly, Huddersfield 1, Brighton 2. From the Shanker to Zanker for the first goal. Town may be getting his stroke of fortune, but as soon as you think luck is on your side, in steps Michael Oliver, Neil.
I've just about calmed down. Just awful. It's not. I know Cos's going to have a different opinion of this, and that's going to really wind me up again. But it's never seen a red card. The so-called expert referees who've watched it back and said, yeah, he's got it right. If that's letter of the law now, and that constitutes a red card, the law needs changing, because if that's a tackle that's worthy of losing a player from a game, it's pathetic. They both went in, the ball's off the ground, you've got to have your foot off the ground. They both had the foot off the ground, it just happens that Mounier caught him. And when I say caught, he's barely touched him, hasn't he?
It makes it look worse in slow motion because they slow everything down and then
slow
they put
motion don't give you a
stills.
true.
No, it doesn't. It was a split second off.
Yeah.
A split second off.
Yeah, and if that's worthy of a red card, and when you consider later in game that Balogun has gone through Durham, and when you see that and Durham's leg bends, that's a leg breaker. And if that's only a yellow and Mounier's warrants a red, nah, I'm done. I never want to see Michael Oliver in that ground again. Otherwise, I'll be getting a lifetime ban.
We put a poll out just after the match. We didn't get a lot of votes really, but I think it's because I messed up the tweet. But we had enough to give a percentage, and 90% of Huddersfield fans didn't think it was a red card, which is quite a.
I'd expect that, to be
amount.
fair, whether it were a red card or not, but it won't.
Usually you get some people who are quite fair and objective, don't you?
It's a red. It's not a red. Never seen a red.
And in that 10% is a certain Mr. Cosmo.
I didn't vote, so it was quite. It was quite nice to see, really, because I wasn't there on Saturday, and I wonder if I'd have been there, whether I'd have walked out with the outrage that. Honestly, I don't think I've seen. I suppose the stuff happened before social media. I'll never forget the Tom Cowanetti and Vivea going back many years.
I remember that, yeah.
We know the John Worthington one accurate, and I always think that to me is the ultimate injustice of a red card.
I tweeted that the other day.
But I didn't see it like that personally. I could see why I give it. I watched it at the time, and I kind of turned away from the screen thinking he's going here. I thought, wow, could be a red. And yeah, we know the game's gone.
You know the reaction in ground? The reaction in the ground, as it were all happening, were totally nonplussed. You just carry on watching to see what's happening next. Nobody saw. There wasn't a foul in there, were there? There were nothing in there that made you think, oh no, this is in danger.
The thing that I suppose is a bit different when you're not there, but The thing that kind of thing might have made his mind up, and although, Wagner was no intent, and probably there weren't any intent, he lost control of the ball and he went charging in. Yeah, probably to win the ball
Did
back.
he go
but,
charging? What it charging?
But
that,
he
really?
drew blood on him, Neil, and the boot was high. I can see why. I'm not
But
saying
if you
it.
watch it,
I
they're
thought
both,
it was the
both
right.
the players,
I want to make a
got the
point
foot
on
off
this.
at ground because ball's off at ground.
So I want to make a point on the blood thing, because you watch that back and Mounier connects with the right side of his shin, and the blood's on the far left. It's not where the impact was. So I don't know how he's done that. It must be a sneaky one somewhere, but that seemed really, really strange. And what was not strange was just
I think
what
you've got as well is the
O'Neill.
fact that he went down and made such a meal of it.
That's what we're going to say.
He's got Mounier sent off, whereas Durham hadn't made a big deal at one other end.
He was
and
in
lads
agony.
got a yellow.
It was dumb.
But
The Brighton fans are going, what you booing him for? It's like, because he went down, he played up to it, and then as soon as Mounier was off, he went off and he sprinted back on like nothing happened. It's just...
yeah,
You mean like I did United last night at Bournemouth?
yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the
that
thing.
was
you
weaponry
see.
as well.
That's the thing you see.
No,
We're balanced about it. I don't like to, whoever shirt they're wearing. I hate to see that because it's blatant.
Flo
it
should
just
have done
proves
that.
it's blatant cheating.
I've said it before, Neil. It's such an hard job. I don't think VAR would have changed the decision, whether that's right
I don't
or wrong,
think VAR would have changed
whether
the
the
decision
game's gone or whatever,
because-
Neil. But for me, referees, I can see why he gave... For me, that I look at it this way, I can see why he gave that. And, yeah, the appeal, I thought...
I'm
obviously
just getting more incensed again about it. I've calmed down.
We'll come back to the appeal in a little bit, but...
Right. No, just don't appeal now. It were pointless appealing because
we knew what was going to happen.
it were never going to get overturned. I think Town have done it to sort of say, we think that's utter bollocks of a decision, so we're going to appeal it.
All right.
Whether right,
And-
who
and
caused
do
it
you
though,
know
lads?
the
Who
thing
caused
that-
it, lad? Bad
but-
touch from Mounier. That's what caused it. If
but do you know
Mounier
what-
does his job, mate, that doesn't happen.
Yeah, but they've both got their feet off at ground, both of them. The ball's off the ground, so your feet have got to be off at ground. You can't... They're not on... These players aren't
Ball's-
on runners
the
on
ball's
pitch.
bouncing,
They've
yeah.
got to you bring their feet off at ground. If the ball's up, you've got to lift your foot. If you've mistimed it by a second, if
It's
that
not
constitutes a red card, what a load of bollocks that is. No
right,
chance.
Neil, you can calm your skin for just a moment. And we've had a tweet from Richard Crowther on with regards
I was going
to...
to say with a tweet from Richard Cosmala, and he said it's a red card.
I've had to block him. No, I'm joking.
My phone on Saturday night, my battery had gone from about 80 to about 10% in about an hour.
So Richard Crowther sent one through, and he said to us, he said, based on their own rules, how can the FA uphold the decision that Mounier should be sent off? No way was that excessive or deliberately dangerous. It seems a totally corrupt system to me. And saved me a Google search as well, so thanks, Richard. He's put the FA rules on the tackle, which says,
spot on.
it's an offence involves contact. It is penalised by a direct free kick or penalty kick. Careless is when a player shows a lack of attention or consideration when making a challenge or acts without precaution. No disciplinary sanction is needed. Reckless is when a player acts with disregard to the danger to or consequences for an opponent and must be cautioned. Using excessive force is when a player exceeds the necessary use of force and endangers the safety of an opponent and must be sent off.
So if that's excessive force,
Why is he pulling out?
tackling has finished.
The thing is, Mounier realises he's not going to get that and he starts to pull out.
And that's what catches him.
It's not... It's careless, yes. Reckless, possibly. Excessive force?
It's a striker after a crap touch, let's be fair. But red card, nah. No.
I understand, and I understand Michael Oliver in a split decision. He loves throwing cards out. We saw the red card he gave Deeney was nonsense when we played them.
Yeah,
that wasn't a red card. He sent Jonathan Hogg off for trying to pass the ball. I agree with
this bloke's got history.
I agree
This
with the red
bloke's
card
got
against
history.
Cardiff. To be honest. I thought Hoggy was.
Yeah, but in the same
overly-
game, Arter's got to walk, and he didn't. So,
And let's not talk about the
balance.
penalty decision and the offside against Liverpool
No,
as well.
let's not.
I think
The bloke's a cheat.
The
I don't
one
ever
thing-
see him in that ground ever again.
the one thing Kosi mentioned, I think it was either on Twitter or on our WhatsApp group, is we need to be careful of not becoming one of those clubs who keeps playing the victim. And I kind of agreed with that because there's a club down the road always says everybody else is corrupt, and it's absolute nonsense.
I get that, but that's just.
But it feels like
refereeing. It feels unjust.
I think what were interesting for me on it all is that I could see why he give it. That's what I mean.
I can see in
writing's different. I think when someone having a chat with people, because people will say to me, "It's never this, that, and the other." But if someone had said, "I can see why he give it," there were a couple of people that said it to us. Dale Marsden was one who can see why I sent him off. But there were so many people that I don't know whether they maybe it's so different when you're at the game though that. They've had done by Neil's.
I'm eating donuts. Donuts are out. I'm done.
I'm just trying to kind of offer another side of the argument.
No, I understand. If you see it fast in real time, his foot's up and he's caught him.
Yeah, that's all he's got.
So I can kind of understand it, but I don't agree with it, if you know what I mean. What I can't agree with on any level is the decision not to give a penalty to us when Alex Pritchard, in my opinion, is blatantly fouled in the box. Pascal Gross, I think, was the Brighton player. He's got his arm around his neck
and pulling his shirt.
And as Pritchard goes to put it in the net or try and tap it in, he then has him almost in a headlock and then twists to pull Pritchard down. For me, that's a penalty. It's a red card for denying a goal scoring opportunity.
Yep.
And at that point, we have a chance to make it 2-0.
Yep.
10 versus 10.
Game over.
We don't lose that game. And I honestly think Michael Oliver has cheated us out of 3 points on Saturday.
He's absolutely done us good and proper.
And I'm starting to get angry again. I was frothing until Sunday night. I was absolutely.
I was frothing until probably kick-off last night, and then I've all right then. And now I've come again now, because he's just cost himself a lift back to the car park. No way, in my car.
We ain't going to agree. I mean, oh God, and the penalty. I've watched it so many times now that maybe I'm thinking, yeah, it is a penalty. But at the time, again, I watched it and I just thought, I don't think it's as clear cut as.
It's blatant for me.
You think?
To be honest, Kosi, I'm not going to dig you out too much here, but
he's literally got him in a lock. But pulling him backwards, how can he possibly make an attempt to go forward for ball?
And that
when
weapon,
somebody's pulling you backwards.
I hate Gollum on Match of the Day. I loathe that guy. You know full well. And for him just to sat there and just kind of go, I don't care, whatever, stick with referee. I hate that guy. Genuinely hate that guy.
But then they go.
I shouldn't, but I do.
What other game that they were going on about and
it's probably Liverpool
incident 20 times and convince herself it's a penalty.
I think what makes me laugh on the penalty because obviously I had a different view of it, and I was getting people videos, and Kamara said this, and Danny Murphy said that. Them guys played in a different era. Even Danny Murphy wasn't too long ago. You just can't do that now.
What I was going to say though, because
that sums it up for me. If you can't do that now, i.e. pull out of a tackle and slightly if that constitutes a red card, they need to rip rules up and start again, because
the thing is that
garbage.
It ruins the game for everybody there. After 30 minutes, you've sent someone off after 30 minutes. You kill the game as well.
It totally killed it.
But VAR's just going to uphold that, so he's get used to it. Next year's going to be the same and same. It's not. Just
don't make it right.
Don't
make it right.
Whose fault is that?
It don't make it right.
It goes to opinion.
Matt's just read rules out that Richard tweeted through, and if that's right and that's up to date, there's no way that tackle by Mounier could be classed in any way, shape or form endangering an opponent or reckless.
I've never
seen
Wagner as bad. I've never seen the fan base as mad. It was incredible.
That sort
all
of,
the players were mad.
That sort of rubber stamped it for me with Wagner, because he's the most balanced, honest manager afterwards. Always says the truth. We didn't deserve it. We haven't done this. We haven't done that. And even last night he said, because of as our mistakes, we haven't deserved anything out of that game. We've cost ourselves. And for him to be so mad, he was talking to Oggy on Radio Leagues after that stop interview. He just said, I don't want to answer, well else I'm off. And that's for him to be so incensed. Bear in mind, he'll have seen it God knows how many times within half time and after the game before he's gone at interviews. For him to be so incensed, that was sort of just rubber stamped it for me.
And two of the nicest players we've ever had, the two Danes, Zanka and Jonas Losel, they were absolutely seething as well.
It was interesting. I think, I don't know if it was Johnny that said it last night on Radio Leeds over it, Oggy, but basically Wagner didn't want to talk about anything else on Saturday apart from that penalty. Because, he obviously changed the game. Yeah.
Cost us.
It's happening too often.
could have
That's
won.
the problem.
Yeah, we could have won.
And what
we
I'll
should
say,
have won.
I want to go back to the Pritchard incident as well, because I think 5 weeks ago we sat here and we were absolutely outraged about another penalty decision, and Kosi, you thought it was a penalty, I think, from memory, and that was when Danny Rose went down, barely touched in our box, and people
Another
are
one
saying
as well.
penalty.
How can you say that that's a pen, but Pritchard's in?
No, I could see why you would give Danny Rose, but I could see.
So why give that and say that Pritchard's in?
Losing it here.
Wow.
Losing it.
Do you think that because he's small, maybe?
Potentially, yeah, potentially. People could think he's only little. He's
What? Because Danny Rose is a unit. Come on.
plays for Tottenham, though, doesn't he?
Well, that is the difference.
But
Let's be fair. The penalty against Liverpool at home that we didn't get, if that's in other box and it's Oggy doing it instead of Milner, Liverpool get a penalty. And I'll argue that all day long. And on match at day, Danny Murphy, etc., would all say that's a penalty. Johnny Ogg has clumsily handled that. It's a penalty.
Where was
but
the
other way
linesman?
around is a different narrative. It's a load of bollocks. Honestly.
have you guys seen the shot of where the linesman? I must admit, I've not seen.
It's a crowded box, so I presume you probably didn't see it. I did.
I've seen them given, but
I agree, but it's
it
like
would have been
yeah.
harsh.
I've never seen outrage like it. It made me question
let me
my kind of
rephrase
tweet.
that. I've seen them given,
Yeah.
but not to us.
It made me question, thinking, hang on a minute, because some people were saying, get off the jink, Kosi, and I had a jink, and it made me wonder.
You're on the Mahou, I think.
Yeah,
weren't you?
I was, but it just I just turned away at the time, and we're going to have to move on from it. So I've been talking all night, but yeah, it was so gutting, but
All right.
yeah, but it killed the game. And well, the goal before half time, which I don't know if we're going to come at now, that was what a bad goal. I was gutted about that, because I still think we could have got something going in at 1-0. And
Potentially, but
Bruno, we were talking about him last week, wasn't it Danny that were kind of calling him out, and typical, he has
set
to
2
do
goals
that.
up, didn't he?
But it was annoying for me. I mean, it was a miracle how he kept the ball in for starters, but how naive we were that throwing.
From my angle, I thought there's no way Bruno's made that. We're not being offside, but you're never going to see a replay of that, I don't think.
I know, but like, why were everyone backing up? Just close them down. It's one of the things I hate more probably than referees is cheap crosses in the box, and they had half an hour to get the ball in, and
He had a free run as well, didn't
it
he?
were horrible, man. It just, like when they're that kind of dagger through your heart kind of goals. There's some goals where you're just like, fair enough, great goal, but there's others you think, bang, that is like getting knocked out. It just felt a knockout blow. I honestly couldn't see us getting anything second half once that had gone in. I don't know what you guys thought.
No. As soon as that went in, I knew we were going to lose. To be fair, their second goal I thought was poor marking from Zanka. The cross shouldn't have come in, but the cross was an excellent ball in. It made the goal.
And Donny got across him, didn't he? With a good finish, and he carried it on last
So
night, didn't he?
It's clever bit of that Andoni's finish is everything that we've been missing this season. We have somebody who can put a chance in like that. We're nowhere near at bottom 4 at the minute.
So let me. There was a tweet that caught my eye a little bit because I was feeling sorry for myself. I was in victim mode. This is what happens when you live in Leeds, and so,
I feel a bit dirty crossing the border every week doing this, to be honest.
sorry, but and there was a tweet from Peter Wilson. I don't know if he follows us. I follow him. And he listed the decisions that have gone against us this season, and at the risk,
I'm just scrolling here looking for it, and he's bang on, isn't he? Apart from one last night.
At the risk of making us out to be victims, it just feels like, I'm sure. The thing is, last night we'll talk about the chance last night. That chance last night happens all the time. We get them, they get them. It's just when they score from them, it just sticks a knife in. But so Peter Wilson said decisions against HTFC this season. He even missed one that I added to, and he said. Number 1, Stonewall penalty at 0-0 versus Chelsea not given. That's when Louise went through the back of Pritchard.
Yep, it's a pen.
Arter not sent off at 0-0 when Hoggy's sent off for the same thing versus Cardiff. Dominic Calvert-Lewin not sent off versus Everton, later scores the equaliser. I couldn't remember that. I remember Tom Davies went in.
I'd have been saying Tom Davies more than Calvert-Lewin, but
I think he went in late in the corner,
foul
didn't he?
Accumulation, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Both of them.
Offside. Do you know, this is one thing that drove me mad because I was level
That's
with
one
this.
that I'll probably debate, to be fair.
I was pretty level with the Leicester goal, and
anything.
it looked offside to me. You couldn't tell on TV, and Iheanacho was ahead of
And
Vardy.
in that game, De Poitras also missed a point blank header exactly the same as last night.
Absolute
Awful.
shocker. Penalty not given at 0-0 versus Spurs. I didn't think that were a penalty. Whatever. Penalty given against Spurs, 1-0 Spurs.
Yeah,
Tarkovsky not
shocking.
punished for stamp on Depoitre versus Burnley.
Yeah, that wound me.
And that didn't get picked up by the
No.
review panel. I thought that was absolutely awful.
Yeah, well.
Vokes not punished for an elbow on Schindler versus Burnley. I didn't think that were intentional.
You could argue with that both ways, couldn't you?
Onside equaliser ruled out for offside versus Liverpool, and the penalty not given against Liverpool. Common denominator there being Michael Oliver and co. Penalty not given against Fulham. Mounier's dismissal versus Brighton, and Stonewall penalty and red
against
card
Fulham?
not given. Hadajanai got tripped by Sessegnon,
Yeah.
but I thought he'd lost control a bit. To be honest.
Yeah, I thought that would have.
Oh, that was one that were going out of play,
that was a
wasn't
penalty,
it?
that, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'd say a pen. to be
And he
fair.
forgot to mention Zanka getting tripped against West Ham
Yeah.
in the box.
There is all that, but I always look what's in our control. I just couldn't believe Saturday, 45 minutes, they put that board up. Tune in, lads. You know, we're giving them... Get into the... Honestly, if we'd have got into the shit...
Bruno has been awful every time he's played
Yeah.
at that ground. And every nightmare he's had there, he just wipes it all out in space of about a minute and
He
a
was
half.
unbelievable, wasn't it?
brilliant.
Yeah. A great header as well.
That's
wasn't
a
it?
cracking header, but
Yeah.
Bruno's done us like a kipper there. We're all waiting for whoever to come up and take it in the floating round box, and they've just got on with it, pinged it in. Solly Marches, that's a great cross, to be fair.
He's a decent little player,
Yeah,
Solly
he is.
March.
The only thing in the second half, and yeah, it was inevitable, depressing, inevitable, I think, what were going to happen. I just thought we'd... Just the commentator, Gary Birtles, I think he did a game last night, he was saying that as well. He was saying, we're still going to lose here. Just do something. Try and do something different. And I know we're going to talk probably about what's on the bench, but I just thought we didn't give them anything to think about. But you've got Duffy and Dunk, massive lumps at the back. Just put a bit of pace on it because it's something different against it. But we didn't. We just went with our mate Lauren, who's having a pretty much of a nightmare kind of time. But I just thought that's where we were at the moment. The sub summed it up in me in the second half. We were, I think, didn't someone say they weren't ready or whatever? But if we started the second half, 2 minutes later we made the sub. To me, that summed up just confusing what we were doing. And
do you know what I thought there? I thought that was just genuinely a bit of time wasted early.
Wow, that.
I just thought it were take the point and
What was
start
that one?
messing
Sorry,
about
Pritchard?
early doors when he subbed
Pritchard got a
second
knock.
half.
He got a knock, did Pritchard.
But Pritchard, Depoitre had been warming up separately and hard all the way through half time.
I think he would have put Depoitre on at half time, but Depoitre was carrying a bit of a groin injury, so I don't think he wanted to put him on as early as
Has
possible.
he been carrying it all season?
He's been carrying. I don't want to say what
God,
he's
he
been carrying.
looks awful.
I know it's hard against, when you've only got 10 men, but I just felt it were kind of shades of last year to me. The game were drifting, there were nothing really happening, and, I didn't even get that impression where sometimes we have, most of the games this year, where I think we might do something on the break, catch him, because of the personnel that we had, and then when Danny Williams come, we're almost like just, that's it now.
There was
Can you
some
imagine
strange
some of
subs.
these crosses that are coming in now, Boothie would be absolutely, you what?
Boothie.
It'd be on
Boothie
double
Mark
figures
1.
now, wouldn't it?
Boothie Mark 1.
Yeah, Boothie Mark 1 would be on double figures now.
Yeah, it would.
It might, to be fair, even Mark 2 would bury that.
I've got a question for you guys as well.
Go on, fire.
Do we have an issue under David Wagner when we play with and against 10 men?
Well, we've got an awful record, haven't we?
We're going to take the Watford one out because I think were we winning already at that time against Watford?
Yeah, we're 2-0 up, aren't we?
So that doesn't really count. But I just every time it seems like we go down to if you go down to 10 men, you're at a disadvantage.
The only time where we've done really well with it were when Schindler got sent off against West Brom, and they, apart from a little spell, they really didn't look like scoring at all.
That was the start of their.
Yeah, that's when they
plummet,
started
wasn't
falling apart.
Yeah, there might be a point in that, but I just thought it really weird because Brighton, him almost like, right, we're settled for 2-1. I just thought, right, 20 minutes.
Brighton fully settled at 2.
Yeah, they did. The good game management for them, but give them something, like some pace. I mean, Ben's a Sobby, I don't know, something different, but
if you
it would just
pace, Sobby, nah.
You could have, exactly, but you could have turned the game off at half time. Well, just after Andonia had gone.
As soon as it made 2-1, it were done.
He's got more right than wrong,
fucking
Wagner, but I
middle.
just felt we missed a little bit of a trick. Just trying to give him Duffy and Duncan just pushing further up the game.
For me, bloke's allowed to get stuff wrong. We all get stuff wrong.
Oh.
He's got, and let's be fair, he's been here just 3 and a bit years. He's got a lot more right than he's got wrong. So he's bought himself some leeway. But going back to your question, Matt, we have got an issue with it. We're not very good with or against.
I just go back to when Swansea got Michael Oliver sent off Jordan Ayew early last year. After 20 minutes,
But it
Probably
was
was a
earlier
red
than that.
card.
I mean, about 80 minutes, wasn't it? We just played against 10. It
Yeah,
was.
and we just couldn't break down 10 minutes. We did the same thing over and over. And
Yeah.
What a
We're just recycling the same thing across.
gutting
down,
nil, though, wasn't it?
across.
We started so well, building on the Wolves game. We'd gone in front. I thought they looked poor, albeit they had a good moment,
We
a
were all
good chance.
over them.
We
We
were,
were all-
you
we
just knew that we
absolutely
were
all
going to
over
win.
them.
I thought another goal
Right,
there.
we're done.
Yeah,
The game at 1-0 with 11 men was done.
yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not convinced by that. I
I
thought
thought we
Brighton
played
looked
well.
just
Well,
before
no, I
Mooney
agree
got
with
sent
you,
off.
yeah.
I thought Brighton was starting to
Yeah,
come
they
back
were-
into
they were
it.
winning
But
the
you
arm
go-
wrestle
but
for
you
me.
carry on with
Yeah.
11. You carry on with 11. They're not getting back.
I thought.
would have fancied
I'll be honest.
Town
I
to
didn't
score
think we were
again.
at the races against Brighton. I thought we were a little bit slower out of the blocks than we were in the previous ones.
I agreed, Matt, with you. I thought we started well, and
First
it
5,
looked like
10.
we were going to, a bit like Bournemouth last night. Looked like we were going to win, by a few, which for us were probably more than 2 goals or what have you. But then I thought they were winning the arm wrestle, and you'd think 11v11. I'd still maybe backers, but I don't think it was as set in stone as some men are making out.
I'm
There's
not sure what could have
never a
happened.
given. That's football. But the sending off completely changed it, as did the non-award of the pen.
Should
If you get that pen, go 2-0, done.
I know this is late in the game and probably wouldn't have changed anything, but should Balogun have been sent off?
Yeah.
You think so?
We were worse.
It was worse than Mooney's.
If Mooney's is a red, that should have been 2 reds. It's a joke.
I think VAR. God, people going to hate me, Mr. VAR. Or
But
what have you,
problem
but
is,
that's off that.
The problem is with that, because he booked
Jamie
him,
Vardy over there.
and this is where the rules turn to mush. Because he's booked him there, they can't go back and revisit that.
No, I'm not
Which
bothered.
It's daft.
It doesn't help us.
No,
It
it
don't
doesn't help.
really,
It doesn't
it
help
makes
us.
But VAR would.
Whether it helps us or not is not the point.
No.
Yeah.
No.
No, you're right.
Right. Okay. So performance-wise, we were.
And he's come on last night and scored
Yeah, fair enough.
as a sub.
That's all right. That'll
So
do.
yeah, but it shouldn't have happened. He shouldn't have been anywhere involved. He should have been suspended.
Do we have to clear up the homophobic chanting, though, Matt, on the game?
Yeah, that's next on my agenda. I'm just gonna say a sentence on it because I don't really want to go too.
I think I'll ask, because obviously I wasn't there. How was it very evident?
I was in the
it
stand
loud?
where it was. It was probably 100 or so down what you would call the jungle. That sort of
jungle.
Riverside lower.
I couldn't hear the thing where
I heard it.
didn't even know it happened.
I heard it. I rolled my eyes when I heard it. All I'll say on it is that as 3 straight males, we probably don't understand how those from the LGBT community were affected by it. So we obviously can't look at it from their experience. To class it as abuse, I'm not 100% sure it's abuse, but neither would I condone it. In my opinion, it's crass. It's very inappropriate
It's
chant
poor taste banter.
by a small minority, and it's poor and misplaced attempt at humour. No one should ever go to a football match and be made to feel different or inadequate because of the gender, race, religion, or sexual orientation. And I would also extend this as well when we play Liverpool, and there's a certain chant that's directed at James Milner, which is not on at all, and people need to stop that.
I don't even know which one you mean.
It's the Y word one.
Oh, right.
People need to stop that. This sort of chanting is inappropriate in 2018, and it will only get yourself and the club into trouble. Please stop it. The end.
Yeah, I think the disappointing thing for me, driving back, was it on Monday, what have you, we made the headlines Radio 5, we've moaned about no coverage, Huddersfield Town. Well, we got coverage, and all bad coverage, which is really disappointing. And the club's done a lot of good. With someone at work was kind of talking about it today, saying you've become kind of a lot of people's favourite second team and things like that as well. So
Apart from referees.
No, I don't get that.
Yeah.
We always seem to be some uninvited guest to the
Yeah,
Premier League in my
maybe not,
experience.
Is it me or not?
but it obviously does kind of a lot of damage to the club. Obviously, passions were running high on Saturday with the refereeing and what have you. But yeah, David Wagner said it all for me on the interview yesterday. So hopefully that's just a one-off. We don't hear it again.
Yep, stop it. The end. Obviously, it won't be the end, but we'll move on from our perspective. So,
Has anyone seen Rajiv Van Lepera, by the way? I was having a look for him on walking into this studio. Has he been spotted? Have you? Is he around?
I'm not sure. We were going to
He's
talk.
missing.
We were going to talk about January a little bit coming up. We seem to talk about it every week, but we'll have an update.
Because
I
that's
guess.
why, just to add to that, Brighton, you're looking for people to change them off the bench. for me, he's a guy. We've spent so much money on guys that, to me, are struggling to bring anything off the bench. This is a guy who I think he's tricky, he's different, he doesn't score many goals, but he's someone I think could be an asset off the bench. But I don't know whether something's happened off the pitch.
I haven't seen anything from any of these new ones. Sobby, Diakab is totally off at planet now, isn't he? And Benza. None of them will be in that team for me before Van der Padde.
He's still our best winger.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
To say, for example, we press the button on Benza, he's going to cost 13.5 million. It's close to 30 million on wingers.
Remember the last time he
none
played?
of them are better than Van der Parra at 750k. I think Van der Parra is partly. I think he's a victim of the formation change because he tried to play it behind the striker last year.
Behind all them on bench in running order, in pecking order.
It was a bit strange last night.
He's not in squad last night, but
he was ill. He was ill.
So travelled. Come on.
I'm surprised no one's asked the question. Come on, Johnny.
He was. I do know he was ill, but I don't know if he's still ill. I presume not.
You know what weird? I think this time last year I remember a similar thing happening, and I think we were saying in January because they weren't they linked with Leeds or there was some weird rumours. It's almost like history's repeating itself.
To be fair, he's not injured or out because when they put out the team and the players who were missing, they always state why. And he's basically just not selected, is he?
I just presume he's partly a victim of the formation change, and maybe he's not training as hard and not working as hard.
From what I've seen at others, he's over all them for me.
It's a weird one. I don't want to spread rumours, but you just think that maybe there's more to it than
I don't think we'll see him again.
I mean, it's
I hope we do, but I'm likely to agree with you.
I mean, you can't look at, again, our social media take it with me salt, but the Instagram stories, you see a lot of changing room banter and what have you. I haven't seen him on any of these videos. Is he even there? What he's doing and what have you? There might be more to it. Who knows? But it's a shame because I think Rajiv Van der Padde on the bench at Huddersfield is better than what we've got now, like you've just said.
Rajiv Van der Padde starting at Huddersfield, to be fair.
Bournemouth.
I think we've signed all these, haven't we? And I just think the plan was clearly to be playing with wingers this season. That was clearly the plan. If you're bringing three in and keeping the other 3 or 4 you've already got, that was the plan. Obviously, that's evolved since season started, and it's now basically Flo, Derm, Lerver, and obviously Tommy Smith's getting himself somewhere near again. So it's basically them now. So I could genuinely see 2 or 3 of them going in January.
Someone was telling me last night half time, and again, I don't know how true it is, but Ramadan Subbi's wife has enrolled on a 3-year course at Leeds Uni, I've heard, or something like that. So it's, and someone told me that he's been told, again, God, who knows what's true, that he's been told he can find another club, which wouldn't surprise you, but it does seem amazing kind of U-turn, Neil, doesn't it, on this formation business.
Well, it was clearly a plan, wasn't it? The plan was clearly wingers to buy all them. And we'd all said pre-season we need wingers to improve on what we've got, but sadly we haven't. And Van der Padde, who's the best of the bunch, is nowhere near it.
And the thing is, the team, in my opinion, are playing a million miles better than last year, even though the points won't back it up in the league table. What a miles better team last year.
We're a better team. We're a better team this season than last year.
It's just a shame it's expensive a lot
we just
of money.
Need, obviously, the elephant in the room, we need a striker, don't we?
So, Matt, you'll know this, but and Benza is... We've got an option, but he's not our player. He's a loan with an option to buy. So how much have we spent on? So 5.7
on Sobby, 7.2 on Diakab.
12. So that's just 12. And then 13, which is still a lot.
If we want to trigger and Benza, but I think we've paid a loan fee, but I don't know how much.
So you're looking at best part of 25.
I think it works out towards 27 million when you.
Wow.
Bournemouth, unbelievable. 7 hours, 30 minutes on a Stotts coach, and anyone who's been on it knows that. Unbelievable. I didn't think we were going to get there at some point. It would just, when you put your phone in it.
Kick-off?
It was incredible. Just come up the steps and referee blew his whistle. It was like just meant to be. But what a journey. Honestly, talking to some of the fans that had gone, there was some incredible offers of people going on planes. I think Andy Shooter, 9 hours coming across on a business meeting. There was some amazing efforts from our lads to
9 hours.
Our lads and lasses to get there. I was amazed how many we took. We made a lot of noise. honestly,
It's all you could hear on
yeah,
the telly.
brilliant. Honestly, this it's so surprises, and we were surprised at Wolves, weren't we? We were kind of thinking, "Oh, how many are we going to take there?"
Yeah.
The
It was
fans are
good
loving
numbers
what
of
we're
Wolves.
doing, but yeah. And then the game kicked off, and we were quickly worn down. The reality.
It's more contentious decision. So as what we said earlier, so Roger Easter's got a history and also not being our friend, not being on our Christmas
Callum
card
Wilson's
list.
got an history.
Yeah, he's also not on the
Against
Christmas
Huddersfield
card
Town.
list. He's a very, very good player, sadly. But there's a foul given on Durham, which is never a foul in a million years.
it's not.
But we have to defend the free kick
And
better.
we didn't.
Zanka drops, and everyone else sticks. And
Yeah,
for me, it looks
contrary
he
to
looks level,
the
despite a lot of
stories
people saying
on
he's not.
Twitter and that he wasn't offside.
I don't think he is. I'd love to be able to sit here and say we've been done again, but
I'm just trying to think. Callum Wilson had a field day that Robin Sack game. Who would have centre back that played one match and never again?
Matt Crooks.
There we go. He couldn't have done much worse though. To be fair, last night.
We'd have
He had a
three
field
of
day
Matt
last year
Crooks,
against-
Peltier and
Matt Crooks, Peltier, and would it be someone like Anthony Gerrard maybe?
Christ.
Go in disaster start, and my worry coming into last night, we'd played 60 minutes with 10 men.
Joe Lynch.
Energy.
Yeah, totally.
What energy we got. I were a bit concerned. Wasn't feeling it for last night, I'll be honest with you. I thought, and obviously won quickly. It nearly went to 2 straight away. Lost made a brilliant save.
Yeah.
There was another chance, went the straight after, I think. I can't remember. But Brooks were tearing as a new one. Wilson, we were in all over
They
the
only
place.
had 3
weren't we?
shots.
Yeah.
3 decent shots all game. Maybe the King one just after half time.
He put that.
Yeah.
It was like an Benza finish. That
It was
But-
incredible. If I'd have said 2 then, right? 2-0 down. And then, by the way, after that, we'd have, what was it, 20? How many shots, Matt? 20?
23
shots.
24,
We'd have possession
something like
70.
So you're coming to me for the stats, eh?
Yeah.
Just as
We're
you
on
would
them now.
expect, I have them here. So 67% possession to Huddersfield, 23 shots to their 6. They had 2 shots on target and scored both. We had 6 shots on target from 23, which is bad. Corners, we had 8 to their 4, and they committed 14.
At this level of football,
That's not
the
good.
but making 6 on target efforts should yield more than 1 goal.
And who do we...
We've missed some absolute mess.
Yeah, we don't like scapegoating and picking people out, do we? It's not really what we do, apart from, I had to go at Dear Carby last
It's
week.
not,
maybe,
but we've also got to be
but
honest.
we know where the problem is,
Yeah,
and
glaring.
there's another glaring problem in that we have to stick with this problem while our biggest games of the season are in December.
Yeah.
That's the worry for me. Missed
And-
it.
The only saving grace on that is they're all at home, aren't they?
I'll be
Which
honest.
is a bit of a
There's still a goal and a ball to get kicked past the keeper. That's the problem.
I think the Bournemouth game's so frustrating because it's typical of the season in that we dominate. The referee does us slightly. We press the self-destruct button on the second. That's all. That's a
Just shambolic,
complete goal
innit?
of our making.
shambolic.
And then we play so well but get no reward for it. It's just the story of the season. It's so frustrating to see it over and
Bournemouth
over.
couldn't wait for half time and they couldn't wait for full time.
That picture I put on the end, their lads sunk to the knee. There were 2 on the floor. Just like, it was almost like extra time of a World
we
Cup final or
pressed them
something.
to death.
Yeah.
We were great.
We were excellent,
great.
apart from
In the first
the
and
one
second
bit that
third.
counts.
Yeah.
Honestly, in the first and second third of the pitch, we are a good side.
Yeah, we are.
We've got 2 banks of 3 who are very... Okay, Philip Billing didn't have his best game last night, but you get that with young players. You get dips and
And to be
peaks.
fair, we're picking one game out rather than a
Of
stream
course,
of
it's
games.
been awesome all
excellent. Yeah,
season. I
it's
saw
been
some
excellent.
people some friends on Facebook sort of saying, never rated him. And it's like...
Yeah, what-
Bournemouth
trying not
fans
to swear, it's like
retweeted
do
me
one.
and copied me in. Fair play today from you. Buy a striker and you have the ability to win, stay up and more. 100%. This is a Bournemouth fan. 100% deserved a win today. Best of luck
chuck-
for the season.
You chuck
Unbelievable.
a Callum Wilson or a Josh King in our team, and we are not anywhere near that bottom.
He was
four.
available in the summer, was Josh King, and I said we should go get him because he was linked with Newcastle. But at 20 million quid, I understand fully why we didn't. Cause
He's a
that's
style of striker to me, though. This is the problem. His midfield was superb last night.
We
Moy and
don't, we,
Pritchard.
we don't want another big striker.
Can you imagine
we need a
if
fox
you
in the
were
box.
if you were Moy and Pritchard, you had the ball, you were winning everything in space and stuff, and you're looking up next, and there's
And you've
no
got the
movement,
Quattro.
nothing, no movement and
Stood there
nothing.
like a lump.
Honestly, that it must be soul destroying because you're thinking just have a shot. There were so many where they were smashing shots. They want to go in nowhere really because nothing else on.
Adam Moy last night was
Aaron Moy was
every
superb.
inch a top class Premier League midfielder. He was brilliant.
Oh, what did they were going to get sent off?
I thought Hogg played well again. I thought Hogg was good.
Well,
Congolo was excellent.
Congolo was excellent.
We had a bit of a formation shift in the second half. We kind of went back four, and Congolo. I don't like Congolo at left back because I feel it kind of his strength is in the middle, covering his speed, and he doesn't get as forward as well.
Down
but
left-hand side.
He got forward brilliantly, and he was doing a couple of first time layuffs from crossfield balls. He was excellent last night.
What about
Adam Moyes, your man at match last night though?
But me and Kosi disagree on one thing. Kosi thinks Pritchard was brilliant. I think
Pritchard
he thought
a
was really
decent
good.
game, but it's for me last night.
I thought I thought in the second, in the middle third, I thought he was really good. But in the final third, I thought he was as wasteful as anybody. And I know there's no movement, but he should have scored.
He should. I think his biggest
Twice.
problem. Yeah, he had two great chances, but I think the biggest problem.
And
with
that is
Pritchard
that's my issue with him.
He's playing with a League One striker at the minute.
He is. Can I just?
Quattro has been awful.
Can I just go back to defence? Can we just read anything? Have we got a problem with all of a sudden defending kind of set pieces, guys thundering in out, or is it just coincidental that these goals have happened? Do you think?
Yeah. And I think if we have a striker who can back, and there's a bit less pressure on defence to have to get everything perfect all the time.
I agree with that.
There's just no. There's no let off.
I think set pieces.
There's no pressure taken off and by us going and bagging. I mean, we get in front against Brighton early, and that's when other teams punish us. Look at Bournemouth last night, early goal. Within 10-15 minutes, it's 2-0. And then in this league, you don't come back from 2-0.
I'd say we're good at set pieces.
Yeah.
Overall, I think we're pretty good. I think we'd conceded the least amount from set pieces until Saturday in the league, or joint amount, and then. I don't think those two goals are going to change my opinion. I think Zanka's made an error on the first goal. We love Zanka.
Wagner's interviews are fascinating reading. It were incredible. So I thought he were going to go, we deserve to win, blah, blah, blah. Not a bit. It were incredible. He said we deserve to lose. Christmas came early. We were giving presents away. Eddie Howe said Huddersfield deserved something out of the game. Wagner were more gutted about the goals we let in and the things we didn't do up front.
The thing is, he can see, and I know what he's. I know you put that tweet out earlier on, Kosi, and I know that Wagner said, we'll carry on with these strikers, this and other. We've got to do it a minute because we ain't got anybody else. But if we haven't got a striker in that club within the first few days of January, you've got to question what everyone's doing behind the scenes.
But guys,
without being over dramatic,
I don't think it's as easy as that, though, is it?
Maybe not, but let's be honest. Neil, it's been a glaring issue from September, hasn't it?
Let's get to. No one could have seen this coming. Let's get to the point. Lauren de Potter, right? This is a guy. Remember these guys, Man United. What he did to score, he was brilliant. He took it round.
Can I cut you off and do some stats?
Yeah, go on, Matt.
Because it might lead on.
Move that. Then. I'm having another donut because it's.
You guys have a donut, and I'll just reel something off very quickly.
You got a donut, Kosi?
Yeah, go on, mate. Yeah. Cheers, Neil.
That's today's show sponsored by Krispy Kreme.
Yeah,
12 free glazed. We got there.
We don't do any Morrison's value stuff here, mate. Proper.
I don't mind Morrison's value. All right. Right. Okay. So the very quick stats. But in 2018, it's not just since September there's been a goal scoring problem. So my mate Tom, who I mentioned on these. So 2018, he did these stats for me. He's my researcher. It's probably the best job he's ever had. Mounier's got 5 goals in 30 appearances in 2018. And Laurent Depoitre, from leading on from what you said, remember Man United, Laurent Depoitre has 1 goal in 33 appearances in 2018. And that's our issue.
I guess it's just me always trying to think good about a person and loyal and what have you, but I'm just
There's a lot to
background.
love.
That Chelsea goal, that's
the one
alert,
goal.
bright, brave goal. Man United, and obviously over a year ago now, but he took it. It was a beautiful finish. He had work to do. Took
To
it
be honest,
round
it
there.
was a similar kind of goal, like
Yeah.
Chelsea goal, other than he got to the ball quicker than De Gea.
But it's like what you said, though, Neil. We can't wait any longer. It's as simple as that. But the trouble is, we've got because the window open, and even then, it's going to take us a while. We've got.
I know, but saying it's going to take us a while. This has been an issue.
Can I
since
depress you as
September.
well? Can I throw in
What,
some
some
depression?
more?
Yeah.
Christ.
So we were linked with 2 strikers in the summer.
Watch out, Scammondon Bridge. I'm on my way.
So we were linked with 2 strikers in the summer. One of them seemed a really bizarre link. And
Jonathan Teru, is it again?
No, not Tui. Yeah. He ended up at Leyton Orient as well.
Is he coming at last?
We finally got the clearance through. So we were linked with Andre Silva. Andre Silva from AC Milan seems such a bizarre one. I don't know if it was genuine or not, but he's playing for Seville on loan this year, and he's got 8 goals in 13 appearances. And we were linked with a Polish striker.
Dream of that, can't we?
We were linked with a Polish striker called Krzysztof Piatek, who's
Krzysztof Piatek. Yeah.
and he is playing for Genoa. Is it?
Piatek.
Matt Glennon said something to me totally bizarre last night. He said, I says,
I can't believe Glennon said
well, I said...
Let me just finish.
Sorry,
Piatek,
Matt. Sorry,
Piatek
Matt.
has 14 goals in 15 games in Italy. Can you imagine
Look
if
what he
we'd
could
got
have
one of
won.
those two? Bully special prize. Might as well have Bully up front, to be fair.
We've got Lauren League wonder Poitre.
But
Fair.
Glennon said to me, but Rich, no one had seen this coming. And I thought, all right, he's going to mean, the loss in form of these two. But he said, no, us creating all these chances. So I think, hang on a minute. So we're just going to... I know, bizarre point, but could you... It's incredible. We're no mugs. We know our stuff.
No,
Neil,
nobody could say, creating all these chances. But how does that excuse? That makes it even
no,
worse.
this is what I don't... It's almost like, exactly, but...
He's a whopper.
But can you believe we're sat here? It's December the 5th.
He's all right.
And we've got strikers scored no goals, even in some of the worst teams under Wadsworth and what have you.
I think we're the only team in the Football League whose striker hasn't scored
It's
this
got
year.
to be.
And we're the lowest scorer in the Football League as well.
Well, that doesn't surprise me.
Even Bradford have got more than us.
Well, that's what I'm saying about... I know it takes time, but we've known about this since September that it's been an issue. So they've got to be... If Olaf is doing his job, we've got to be delving in. Surely we've got irons in fire at least.
We know it's an issue, Neil, but at what point do you...
with 4 or 5 players.
But at what point do you think confidence, goal, and then pull up stumps out? I suppose preparation, you are looking beyond...
At what point?
Yeah. Yeah, you can't.
We're halfway through December.
Oh, we know now. That's what...
And it's...
The one thing what Matt says on that as well.
That's all you need to know.
These games are massive. It's gutting though, because I'd rather have now Man United, Tottenham, Liverpool. I'd rather have all these games. We've got some massive games where we said 9 points now coming up. We need to get
teams that are below us. They've all got strikers scoring goals. It's other end where they're rubbish. So that's our issue. Our defence is bloody good.
But you know, on Saturday,
for where we are, our defence is very, very good, and I arguably won't swap our centre-backs for any more that are in bottom half at Premier League. I genuinely think they're that good. But when you're not doing out at the other end at pitch, they're under constant, non-stop pressure to do everything perfectly. So it's all right. You can't wait for one of the strikers to bag a goal. We're at December, and neither of them have. Mooney ain't going to play this side of Christmas.
You're saying that though, Neil. We're going to have to wait, mate, because the window doesn't open till Jan 2nd, and then massive games.
Yeah, but that's what
Burnley,
I'm saying,
Southampton,
though.
Newcastle.
We've known this since September, so they've got to have something ready to go. If it's Solanke on loan from Liverpool, fine, get him in, fresh
But we
legs.
could be
but I
doomed,
still
mate.
think
If
we
we
need
get
to-
a point in
probably
these
easy
big
to do.
games, like you
Solanke
said,
should
Matt.
be easiest one to do,
Solanke
shouldn't
should be easy to do, whereas Morpay...
Solanke could be indoor at a minute past 12 New Year's Day, couldn't he? Let's be
Forget,
fair.
That's what I
forget
want.
this New Year now. Let's have it out now. We've got massive games: Fulham, Southampton, Burnley, Newcastle. Forget January and whatever. We could be kind of goose could be cooked then.
Yeah, but
so,
that's the question,
what's your
that's
plan?
what I'm talking about, mate.
Plan B. Ain't nobody. What about that? What about trying something different? But he's not a gambler, is Wagner. What? Surely the Potter can't continue. Mooney will probably come back in after.
Even chucking in Benza down middle. But De Poitre, it's like chucking a concrete post 20 yards from goal and asking it to do a job. Awful. He's not a patch on what we know that he can do. He's done none of it.
You don't fancy Kachunga, Matt, do you?
No, I like the
top.
guy, but I think he's... I just go back to the Championship, and he wasn't really good enough to play up front in the Championship. He was good on the right-hand side.
His Instagram stories, some of the greatest.
I like the guy a lot. I really do like the guy a lot, and he struggled a bit in the Premier League, but I don't think him as a striker's the answer.
He'd chase, he'd harry, he'd cause
So does De
problems.
Poitre.
He don't though, not anymore. He don't do it.
He does a bit.
Oh,
I know he's
come
turned
on,
into a
he's
bit
a
of a
big
Belgian Alan
lump.
Lee.
Should we read some tweets out, Matt? Shall I read them out? Do you want to?
I've got them all on my
We've
Microsoft
got loads. We had some
Word.
right. Thanks for everyone for getting involved. It gets bigger week after week. Loads of interaction.
But now is not the time, Mr. Cosmo.
I do
You've
apologise.
jumped
That
script.
sounds like
I know.
Get on this one.
I think we all do.
So fed up with it in a minute.
Right, so I did have a little note down to have a look at the FA Youth Cup score because our under-18s are currently playing Peterborough in the FA
I
Youth
hate
Cup.
Peterborough.
I don't like them either.
And not since
And
the
our
playoff final, since 1992. I've hated them since then.
and our under-18s are losing to 10-man Peterborough in the FA Youth Cup.
Maybe, didn't they?
Further, well, I'm going to hold my tongue because obviously you guys know I'm not a fan of what's happened to the academy. Although results, I will say, in youth football, results don't always matter. It's all about the development of individual players. So that is more important than results, and that's something that maybe we didn't do before. But I'm holding my tongue. So, Neil, it's that time of the week again where people look forward to it. We don't have a Danny G video, sadly, this week. However, I'm pretty sure you have a solid contender or two for Whopper of the Week.
The things you say, your platforms just give you away. The things you say, you're unbelievable.
Well, Cozzy's just nipped it loose, so we'll get this out that way quick.
Cozzy, you're Whopper. No, I'm joking.
There's only one winner. It's blatantly obvious.
Is it Michael Whopliver?
It is Michael Whopliver. Totally done us.
I don't think we need to add any more.
No, it's done us. We've talked that to death earlier on. If you didn't hear that earlier on, rewind it, listen to that. That's why he's Whopper at week. And
There were a few.
Whopper is being kind.
There were a few hundred as well in the Lawrence Batley Lower, but
Yeah.
hold that there as well.
Let's not get into that.
So while Kosi is relieving himself in the toilet, we will move on to Twitter Corner, and I'll start this soon as I seem keen to get this out. So Kosi put out a tweet which says, "We're recording the pod later. Are you with Wagner in being happy with the strikers? And if not, what type of one would you bring in January? What would you do with Sobi and Benza, Diakabi? We're getting the plaudits, but not the points," which is what we weren't saying this time last week. Are you more or less confident we will stay up? And we've had a pretty good response. Elliot, the relentless machine, Wheat Bowen, is the first one to reply, and he reckons we should loan out loan out Diakabi and Mbenza. Obviously, we can't loan out Mbenza, as what happened. What he realised later on.
Elliot, that's nomination time. That
Looking for an
Can't
award
loan
there,
out
buddy.
a lone player.
Keep Sobi to bring off the bench. If we persist with this system, which I think bringing in a goal-scoring midfielder would be ideal, which is probably a decent shout, as well as two strikers, one to come straight into the side and a pacey alternative to bring off of the bench. There are strikers who can play at 10, so maybe that is an option. He also put, "I'd also return to Germany for signings. We need to go back to what we know in the market." Michael, he's done that. I think he's done this to test us, but Michael Gregoric has 15 goals in the last 2 seasons as a second striker, and Nicholas Fulkrug has 16 goals in the past 2 seasons as a poacher. Certainly, there are players out there. Andrew, the Regminator, says, "If we play like we did last night, the rest of the season, minus the defending, we will stay up." Thomas Furbank, as I zoom in on these. Thomas Furbank says, "It seems obvious when Wagner says post-match we need to start taking our chances that he isn't happy with our strikers. He won't come out and point-blank say he's not happy with them, though. Our success has been built on team spirit. If he singles out individuals, he risks losing that." Agree fully with that. He's never going to come out and say so-and-so isn't up to it. He's just not the type of person to say that. He will perhaps say so-and-so's not in the squad because he needs to work harder, but apart from that, no.
But surely you do. Sorry to butt in, but surely you do that by changing your striker. You know, obviously you can't not say it in words, but if on Saturday if he went with an Mbenza, which he probably won't, or even a Kachunga, then yeah, it's that's kind of sending the message out by just playing the same guys week in week out. There's
just one thing, Cozzy, I've just thought about is What contract is Depoitre on? Is he on a 2-year?
I hope it's not a pay-as-you-score.
I hope it is.
Be Brexit, wouldn't it? It can't be, can it?
Is he on a 2-year? Has he been told he's not going to get a new one?
Maybe.
Is that why we're seeing it? We're just guessing completely.
Yeah.
It might not
I
be
go
the
back
case.
to that Leon game. I sat here in August and said, he looked lean, he looked... Oh, God, that's...
It's you with your kiss of death again. The cost of death.
Yeah.
I'm going to have a new section.
I know, Matt, you
the
won't
cost
have
of death.
Kachunga. I know you won't have Kachunga there, but he's mobile, he gets amongst it, he's always up for it.
I just don't think he holds the ball up when it
But
goes
whether
long.
he's good enough or not, to me, at the moment, is by the by, because they're all proving that they're not good enough at the minute. So it's a definition of madness to keep pummeling the same things time after time after time.
I'll tell you what,
I give it a try.
Do you know, he's pretty good. Movement's pretty good in the box, Kachunga. That's one thing he's
I'll
got.
tell you what's hard though to do, and I hear all that because we're in the Premier League. You know, like if we were in, I don't know, Championship, we could loan players out to other I don't know, foreign players, but and then let's see how good they are. You can't. There's no real point loaning Dicabi out to say Preston, and then he just rips it up because we know. We haven't got the time to kind of put him back.
I'm not sure he would.
Well, maybe not, but this is
what
the
he's
awkward
ripping,
thing
doesn't
about it. It's like you could see, you know, obviously Man City, Chelsea loan loads of people out, etc., and then they're using them as assets. It's almost like we have to deliver verdicts. They're not doing anything.
Chelsea do it to
What's the point of loaning
fund.
Sobby out to say, you know, another Championship team?
I'm not sure anybody will want him.
Yeah, there's
Loftus
no.
Cheek would be nice, wouldn't it? But I think we'd be back of the queue if he became available.
It's gutting, and a lot of people pointing fingers at Mr. Olaf, but
No, look, I think what people need to... The way it works is that your targets are identified between 6 and 12 months ahead of when you sign them. He wasn't anywhere near the building when these people were identified. So
I love that. Are you going to talk that?
He must have come in with ideas of players, though. Surely that's his job.
I dare say he did, but I would say that most of them were probably teed up before he came.
Well, we're speculating, aren't we?
Are you reading Ian Kilroy's tweet out? Probably the funniest one I've seen all time with that. I mean, absolutely brilliant.
Possibly, but you can read it out.
All signed to play in a system totally different to what we are now going with. Keep one for a different option along with Kachunga and VLP as they are proven to be okay at EPL level. Dump Quana, move on, gamble on a fast striker, pray, full stop, a lot, full stop.
So he started going on about back fours yet? I'm joking.
We had so many tweets, haven't there? But I think everyone's just saying striker, but yeah.
Yeah, here's
not
one
exactly.
for you, Neil, as well. So Michael Casey says, I think we need 2 strikers in January. I think Pritchard will drop into the Moy role for when he's off on international duty.
No, not for me. He's not. The 2 strikers thing, I can say. I'd love that.
Probably have to get rid of
Pritchard
one.
playing that role. He's nowhere near
Physical enough,
strong
isn't he?
enough to play the role. I mean, Moy is up and down that pitch. He can be taking a free kick at edge at box and bit last man defending within seconds. He's deceptively quick. He's Moy. Strong in the tackle, head up, play the football. He can play deep roll. He can play higher up. Pritchard is an out and out top end of the pitch player. I think if you don't buy anybody, I mean that. It was my concern in summer. I said about we need another midfielder because this was coming up. It's now coming up. Moyes' best player, fact, and it's going to bite us on his ass if we're not careful. For me, you've got from what we've got. Nice to have Danny Williams there, but Danny Williams isn't a Moy type. Danny Williams is probably more of a Hogg type than a Moy type. So, if we're not buying anybody, I'd probably play Williams with Hogg.
So here's the concern.
And just pop Billing a bit further up.
So here's the concern, and the worry I have for us is that all of our... I'm going to bring this forward because the worry I have for us is that all of our must-win fixtures, and there are must-win fixtures because we've lost too many already, are coming up now. And we're missing Mounier and a functioning striker. Newcastle, Southampton, Burnley at home have become must-wins.
Yeah.
If we don't, then we have to go to the following in January without Aaron Moy, possibly. Burnley on the 2nd. I'm not sure if he's already left at that point. Hopefully not.
I think they're saying he is. Yeah, I've read somewhere he's gone for that.
Okay, so we're gonna be Moyless, Burnley at home and Cardiff away, and
Burnley away.
Burnley at home. Yeah, because that was when Tarkowski stamped on him at Turf Moor this year, wasn't it? Right. So we've got Burnley at home on the 2nd. We've got Bristol City away in the FA Cup. I'm not really bothered about. Cardiff
Burnley
away.
at home's on first, isn't it?
No, it's second now.
How's it? What for?
Burnley got a TV game. I think shifted a day in Christmas. So yeah.
Yeah. So second, Cardiff away is another massive game, and then we've got Everton at home at the end of the month, and those are all winnable games. And then you look at our fixtures in February, and we've got some absolute shockers.
Do you think that's winnable?
I've ignored that completely. I've written it off
Super
already.
Sunday, I got on it. Found what I've been looking for. Another big defeat.
I've written that off. So we'll go back to Twitter, and again, thank you for everybody who is in touch. And one of them is your mate Dan Porritt. So Pozza the Rosa.
See you Friday, son, for a curry. Good lad.
If we had a Rhodes or Stewart type striker, then we'd be mid-table easy. Seen people slating DW off. He's put slagging out. Don't know why I didn't say it. Trying not to swear, but it's not really swearing. You can't argue that a team is set up well and playing well. Individual errors not scoring is costing us at the moment. I'd try and sell a couple of wide men to free up and bring funds for a striker. There may be interest in Billing, and should we cash in on Billing?
Absolutely not. No.
To fund a striker.
I saw the same name got mentioned. I don't know if because it was Bournemouth and what have you, but I think it's really important on the style of the striker. I mean, you guys here, one and scores.
Somebody who plays in box.
I think we need an experienced striker now. I don't think this is the time for going. I saw someone there. Let's go Continental. No, we haven't got time to gamble. Dino's proven in the past that it's going to be a huge gamble with wage and stuff. And Matt, you've got your reservations, but to me, Jermaine Defoe would fit the bill big time. I know he kind of.
I just think he's past it now.
Yeah, maybe, but he's just the kind of striker.
If Jermaine Defoe's in our team this season, he's got at least 5 goals by now.
Yeah,
I think 18 months, 12 months ago maybe, but
he'd have 5 in our team by now. And
he's 36. He looks slow.
Another 4 or 5 places up league.
But the style of the striker is important to me, though. He's
not getting anywhere near the Bournemouth team. I don't know.
Yeah, but look who they've got.
Surely they need to rest him and
you've got
somebody.
Compare it. Look at their team. Look at ours. We've got Mounier and Depoitre. Neither of who has scored this season. They've got Callum Wilson, who's this season broken into England team and scored, and Josh King, who would walk into our team.
Rich Crowther's tweet would have.
Plus, they've got that Moose.
He's not that good.
Rich Crowther.
Better than all that we've got.
The one thing that was so evident last night with Bournemouth and he'll, God, I dread to think with Arsenal on Saturday with the pace they've got. But the pace of the forwards is devastating if the defence is out of position. That's the one thing that we're just so we're neat, we're tidy, we look good. But even Bournemouth, they've got what we need, kind of pace and that kind of strike. I mean, Defoe. Yeah, I'm fascinated. I'd love to be a fly on the wall on the scouting papers at Huddersfield. Because this could be the difference between, it's obvious, isn't it?
It's survival or not.
It is.
It's as simple as that.
Do you think Dino would push the bottom? He's done it with Beckford, and there's so much to lose. I do. Yeah,
I do.
Because you can see we're not far away. We're not.
Why?
It just doesn't do that. It doesn't do it though.
He did it with Jermaine Beckford.
Not really.
What with $30 a week on it?
What we didn't spend.
You got to remember. We've got to remember we just sold Rhodes for $8 million.
But look at money we've got now. Look at the money we've got now, and
I think we've spent it. He said before we've spent the budget pretty much.
If you look now, bear in mind how bad the results. I'm not saying we've been bad. I think we've played quite well a lot of games. But you look at the league table now. For the results that we have had have been poor. I'm not saying the performances have been poor, but the results have been poor. That's fact. We've won twice all season. We're still not in bottom 3. We might be after tonight, but they've got hard games tonight. But we're still going to be within. Even if we did drop in at bottom 3 tonight, we're still going to be well within touching distance.
But the problem,
probably going into New Year, we're still going to be in touching distance.
The problem I have though, Neil, is the fixtures. There's too many of these games like Bournemouth and Palace. Go on.
If we go into New Year and add a striker, you totally thrown me off me vent. If you look how tight it is down there, we're minimal points away from being a mid-table side. 2 or 3 wins on bounce with a striker in. But
do you think there come a point?
Hang on.
Sorry, mate.
You're a pain in the arse, you two, tonight.
The chief interrupter doesn't want to be interrupted.
Any point out here?
Go.
If we don't gamble, we're going down. It is as simple as that. But because of where we are in table and how tight it is, even though the results have been so bad, it's a lot easier to stay in this league than it is to get back into it. If we go down, will we ever come back? Long shot.
Probably not, but that's why you can't gamble.
But it's a long shot. Yeah, but
you've got to
no,
prove it. It's got to be proven.
Right, hang on then. So if we go and spend 25 million quid on a striker, right?
Yeah, but
but if we go and spend 25 million pound on a striker and we go down, you sell him. Let's be fair, if you're buying somebody who's decent enough, you're going to be able to sell them. And if we go down, other players are going to get sold. So, for me, you're not gambling the club's future. You're not gambling money you can't recoup.
I think a loan is probably going to what's happening.
But
I just think...
To me, you've got to go and do it. And if we don't do it, we're going to waste all the effort of the last couple of years getting there, staying there, and to come back is very, very, very difficult.
Do you think there comes a point where you've played in teams, I don't know, 5-a-side or whatever, where as much as you want to back it, do you think that then players are thinking the strikers they're not going to get us then goals? I know no one's going to publicly come at it, but, because the spirit's been amazing that we keep going, we keep on against last night, we're 2 down, we came back. Do you think there's just come a point where, like, Ogmoy and kind of Pritchard think...
Forget it, lads.
Yeah, forget it, lads. And it's up to the club to kind of... Because the spirit's going to sink us, thinking, well, it's like on Saturday, if we go 2 down early on, and people are going to think...
Well, you look at it, the slightest mistake by a defender is costing us points at minute.
Or referee.
But we can't do aught about that. We can do stuff about our defending. Yeah. We can't control referees. But the slightest mistake from our players at the back is costing us. And they're working the nuts off. They're all playing well for me. They're all good players.
But
don't take your chances.
It's
you
weird.
Don't win games.
I'm kind of really chill because no one could have foreseen this unbelievable drop of form from Mooney and De Potre. No. So I can kind of write it off up to January. But I'm with you, Neil. And I don't think Dean will, but I kind of think, okay, we've got to do something about it in January. So if we go down, whatever. But if we say we signed just a couple of strikers, it still didn't work out, then we know where we've gone wrong. But
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but it's
All I'm saying is I think the budget's been spent this year, so the money in January will come out of next season.
But again, we're guessing we don't know that, do we?
I think Hoyle's already said it.
Let's be fair.
He has said it.
Let's be fair though. But they say a lot of things, don't they?
It does, but we spent about the same as we did last year.
But let's be fair. If we went down, we'll still get another 90 million quid or whatever it is for about the next however many years.
Yeah, he might argue that you spend 25 million on a striker and he might flop so badly nobody wants him. You never know what's going to
happen. It'll be a loan.
You can sell.
Yeah, it'll be a loan. But the big question is,
not necessarily.
As Solanke, as someone with something to prove, a gamble, which I suppose is where we're going to get in. It's always probably going to be.
I like
gamble,
him.
But I think we need experience. Someone mentioned kind of crouching in one of the tweets.
He's Solanke too much of a gamble. I'm with Kosi on this. I think we need somebody who's sort of been there, seen it, and done it.
I'd sign 2. I'd sign 2.
But if you're going to go out and
I'd sign 2 and see if we can offload De Potre.
Push it out, get a Jermaine Defoe type who's probably still hungry to try and, is he going to go to Eddie Howe and say, I want to go there and try and get out?
He's on a lot of money, he's Defoe. It's supposed to be 120 grand a week or something.
But if they're not playing him, they might fund part of that. But even if they don't, at some point...
Someone said to me that it'll be an hard sell, but...
sort of say shit to this.
Someone said to me it'd be an hard sell, but I totally disagree. I think there'll be people looking at thinking, if it were last year, I'd be thinking, yeah, it's an hard sell because Huddersfield hardly create anything. There must be someone could become an absolute Huddersfield town legend. We've seen kind of lone guys coming in the past, back in the bad. Yeah, exactly. But it's like someone like a Solanke.
He's the type we need now at this level.
Yeah, Solanke might get pulled towards Rangers with a Gerrard connection, but again, he's not.
No. To be fair,
it's a gamble. It's a huge gamble.
The Gerrard connection's all well and good, but is Klopp going to want somebody of his level going and playing in?
Yeah.
But then they're after Kieran Dowell.
The pressure on this guy, but you just don't know. He's just gutting though that these string of fixtures are so huge that forget about January and we need to get 9 points somehow between now and then.
Yeah,
and and with what we're seeing at top, it's.
I think December will probably dictate a lot of what we do in January.
I do,
and
mate.
I think if we do go and get us 9 points or so in December, 9, 10, 11, whatever, which is obviously a tall order. We've only got 10 all season so far, but if we can get those points between now and New Year, I think the thoughts from the boardroom may just be very, very different on his approach to what we do go and do in January.
Just a quick one going back to the bill. I didn't notice the booking. Was it a deliberate one? Do you think to get out of Arsenal, or was it a genuine? No.
It was to stop someone from scoring.
It's not the worst game to miss that, is it? From a point of view, maybe I'd rather him in against Newcastle.
I'd rather he played Newcastle than Arsenal.
Mooney misses Newcastle, don't he? I think still.
Although I don't agree. Somebody said, and he's a good lad, so I'm not going to name him. Somebody said about it being a free hit on Saturday, and I don't buy into that anymore, mate, because we haven't got enough points to class any game.
No such thing. You've got to try and get.
We murdered Wolves the other week, and week before they went to Arsenal and drew. So you've got to be thinking, hang on, is it hard? Of course it's hard. They're a good side. They're a better side this year than they've been for the last 3 or 4.
I hope they beat Man United well tonight, just so that.
A bit of pressure off. But it's for me. There's no such thing as a free hit. You go down there, and you never know.
Yeah.
If you don't go with any hope, what's the point in going? That's why we got to this league.
Exactly.
So, we proved last season at Enderby that we could get points away at these big sides.
We all know we need a striker. That I don't think anybody is doing that. But I've got a mate sending me a message complaining about the Liverpool team, but I'm not entirely sure what he's whinging at. It doesn't look that bad. We'll finish off Twitter. I think most people are just saying we need a striker, and I think that much is obvious for all of us. It's just how and what we get, which is maybe what we disagree on. James Bentley also thinks Pritchard midfield instead of Moy. Scoring is the only worry right now, says Minardi forever. Wagner and the team can sort that out. I think this is the single barrier.
I don't think it's sortable with current personnel unless there's a massive change of fortune.
You just wonder if Mounier scores, don't you? But
it's like you said earlier on, Matt, and you're bang right. The back two, the first third, the second third were very good. We are very good. It's the last third, and that's the money third, isn't it?
To be honest, goals have got to come from all over the pitch, and the centre-backs are doing their bit at the minute.
They've pretty much scored them all, haven't they, so far?
We do. I think some people have mentioned goal-scoring midfielders.
Scored at Man City this season, aren't we?
Bournemouth scored on Saturday.
Did they?
Yeah. Callum Wilson scored.
The other night,
So Farsley Terraces will be relegated if we don't invest in a couple of strikers. Andrew Regminator said Wagner's clearly unhappy with strikers. He feels they will come good, but an injection of personnel offers something different. Diakhaby needs to go out on loan.
Loftus-Cheek's just scored for Chelsea, so Neil is not coming, I don't think, for us.
I would never think Newcastle would look at Everton as well.
Oh, no.
So Thomas...
I would never think with Loftus-Cheek, if he goes anywhere, I don't think he'll leave Chelsea, to be honest. But
he won't come here.
If he does, he'd stay down south. There's plenty of teams want him down there.
Yeah, so Thomas Kaczewski says, as much as I like Lolo Mounier, if we're not going to get a striker in January, we are going down. He's been an experienced striker, even 2 of them. So he's mentioned Divock Origi, who is starting for Liverpool tonight, Jermaine Defoe and Oumar Niasse. I don't fancy Oumar Niasse.
Nah.
Or Defoe. Origi maybe.
It'll be somebody that nobody's mentioned. I just hope it's not a gamble from a French first division that's not getting a game and whatever else. Because we can't afford it.
Yeah,
we just cannot afford it. It's got to be somebody who has scored goals at a top level, whatever country it is. It's got to be somebody who knows.
Would you go down to Championship and get that lad from Malpe from Brentford, Neil? Or is that?
It's 12 million for him, and you think?
I honestly don't know.
No.
I don't know if he can. I don't know if he can step up. It's too much of a risk, isn't it?
You go and buy him, or go and get Defoe on loan for the rest of the season. It's not even a conversation for me.
Yeah.
See, Morpay, you're paying 12 mil. If he hits the ground running, great. He's worth 30 million before you know, because he's 22.
If you don't, you got a 4 million striker.
But he's someone that you could go down with, and you know he can do it down there. That's the thing.
Well, it depends which way they look at it, doesn't it? Are we planning for next year to be in there, or
the thing is, the good thing with Morpay as well, when I've seen him play, he drops off really well. So if you want to try something different, up front, you can stick him behind Mounier. Is what I'm saying.
And he's one of them.
Yeah, I'd be quite happy.
Yeah,
but if we sign Morpay and Solanke, you kind of think we've got two 21, 22-year-olds again. And what have we said all season is that we've gone out and signed project players when we need to sign.
We need somebody who's. And I understand Tom's stance on.
We can't afford
buying
wages
players to sell on,
etc.
etc. But we're in the
do or die territory.
We're in the muck or bust
So thanks to Ed Stagg for his comments as well about striker. He thinks we should have fouled. I think it was King or Wilson who got the ball in our half to set Ryan Fraser up, take the yellow card. Bit naive on that goal. I think that goal was daft from start to finish.
Yeah, it was a shamble.
Jared Mulligan says he's not worried, Cozzy. He thinks we'll definitely get a striker in January. We play teams off the park. I think Wagner is right to be happy with Mounier, not Lauren, as it's a big part of how we play. Jimmy the Bulldog, another listener from New York. 2 strikers, 1 young quick and 1 with Premiership experience like Crouch Defoe.
Not Crouch.
No. His podcast is better than ours, though.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
Sam.
You don't want to be anybody who's bloody 6 foot odd. We've got 2 of them. We don't need another one of them. We need a fox in the box.
We do. Sam says he'd take a veteran striker if there's anyone out there, such as Glenn Murray, still exceptional at his age. Ian Kilroy, you read out. Alfie Kennedy says if we're going to stay up, 2 strikers need to come in. Aaron Tyndall says the same thing. And James Bentley, to finish off, says we need a plan B striker. As mentioned before, Depoitre and Mooney have similar skills, which was fine when Wagner stuck with the 4-2-3-1. But now our formation is a little flexible. We need a flexible option up front. He mentions Dom Solanke or Callum Hudson-Odoi from Chelsea on loan, who's a really good young player. But again, we're going down the risk route. But the thing about him, if we get someone like him, I like Ademola Lookman from Everton. I'd love him on loan. But Hudson-Odoi could fill in for... He's getting on the bench, but Hudson-Odoi, for example, could play midfield while Moyes away. He's a good young player. So he could fill a couple.
I ain't got an issue with going down that route for a midfielder. Not at all.
It just means there's less of a loan elsewhere because you can only have 1 from each club and 2 altogether. So you wouldn't be able to get 2 strikers. You won't be able to get Defoe and Solanke, for example, on loan.
So, Mark Hughes finally gone. They're losing again tonight, which is good news for us.
£18 million he's made from being sacked.
Yeah.
How long have you worked at your place, Cozzy?
Harry Kane, 21 years, yeah, that'd be nice. But
21 years.
Interesting week, though.
2 months.
Premier Land, we've got Mike Ashley's pretty much going. I think, even though people have heard this before, January, so Newcastle, Rafa's probably going to get a little bit of cash. It's the guy from, is it Kenyan, is it, coming in from United?
The runner?
Yeah. Southampton, it's interesting now that I don't know if you heard the interview with Wagner last night, but he rates the guy really highly. I don't know if anyone's going to shout his name out. I came up with some different nationalities.
It sounds like one of Dorms in Harry Potter, doesn't it? Huffle Shuffle or something. What is his name?
We saw last year, though, didn't we? That changing the manager doesn't, The thing is, we know what we've got, and the other team's kind of trying to find that combination and what have you, but wherever Mark Hughes are going to go.
To get our team spirit still buzzing like it is, to pull out a performance like that last night.
Yeah.
Even though we're getting beat every week and we're
2 down, aren't we? After
we've just lost in those circumstances on Saturday.
Yeah. Tremendous that.
It's plain for everybody to see that the players are playing for him. He's not remotely lost dressing room, has he? So
that's what just frustrating, because we know what we've got. We know his limitations. We know
he needs a striker.
Yeah. We do.
He knows he needs a striker.
But it takes some courage to start, doesn't it? As someone mentioned about their courage coming forward, because we've lost, 9 games? We've taken some kind of body blows. You mentioned all the refereeing things, but yet we're still come fighting back. Last night were incredible. We swapped messages, didn't we? Could be a pace and turn it off or what have you. Incredible courage to come back, and it's just like we just need a break. And my worry is these string of games, because I think we've got to get 9 points. Fulham away. He's kind of must not lose, but I don't know if Jaws does any go. I think we've got to be the home games and. Are you writing off Man United, Neil? Because I'll tell you what, if we had a striker, mate, where they're playing, why not? Why couldn't we?
You can't
write off a 0-0, to be honest.
Unless Mourinho's out at door before we play him.
Yeah, which you can't rule out on that as well.
I think the difference, it's difficult for them to sack managers. It's got to go through all PLCs and all sorts on it, so it's not an overnight sensation. I can't see him getting sacked before.
They're worried about stock shares, aren't they?
And
and
so
of course,
that won't happen before Christmas if it happens.
I'll tell you one thing, we're going about Burnley and what have you. There's Cardiff very quickly after as well. So we are away proper massive games.
We're in a massive run of games, and that's why, Arsenal interfere. Arsenal, you've got to go there.
We've just lost 2 games on the spin.
Exactly. There's no such thing as a free hit, because the games that you think you might be able to get something from, Brighton at home, we lost. So that if Arsenal at any point is classed as a frigate, it ain't now because we just lost 2 on bounce.
They've got so much pace. I don't want to, but yeah, there's so much pace and power, haven't they?
What do you do, Kosi? How do you set up for Arsenal? Because obviously Billing and Meunier suspended, so who do you replace him with? Löw
I'm setting up that 6 pints before game. Have we sold the Zend out, by the way? I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
No, I think before Christmas. But Matt, I'll leave that bit to you. But I watched that game
Danny
last
Williams
week.
gets his shirt, does he?
Yeah.
Probably.
So
let's have a look how they're lining up tonight.
Yeah, Danny Williams gets his shirt for me.
The back three's not that good.
Who else is missing?
Meunier.
Oh, well, he'll play the Potter again, won't he? Which their centre halves are in for an easy game. They'll be able to hand the shirt up at him.
I'm not sure I'd play De Poitre because it's going to be a chasing game. So maybe this is where someone like
Benza,
Diakabi, etc.
I mean, let's be fair. Benza, we haven't seen much of him football-wise, but lad can shift. So if he's one of them that can just sort of ruffle him and get Pritchard pushed up behind him, I'm getting fantasy time now, aren't I?
Oh, but Brighton's 2 defenders are going to roughhouse you all day. Some of the fouls they were getting away with were ridiculous.
Every time they were thrown back.
They just straight push before jumping. It was ridiculous what Michael Oliver was letting them get away with. But De Poitre, the Arsenal defenders won't do that. But at the same time, you're not going to roughhouse them either. So you're not going to get much change. But where you will is pace through the channels. So you just wonder whether, and that's not Pritchard up there as a false 9 is not going to work.
I mean, after they've played nearly an hour with 10 men, I've got to be honest, I was surprised it were pretty much the same team barring Meunier last night.
Yeah, me too.
But then to put in the shift that they did, they're clearly very fit. But I think we might see 2 or 3 changes Saturday. I do.
There's going to be one, isn't there? I think Löw might come back in.
If he's fit, yeah.
I think the thing that worried me was Sobey, and God, it's judgment on 15.
He did all right yesterday.
Minutes, but Sobey last night, there were a couple of occasions where he, one-on-one with the fullbacks, thinking, okay, but his first option just seemed to pass. He didn't seem to want to, and because he's the only one really I had a glimpse of, and yeah, you can argue 15 minutes and what have you, but he looked kind of I wanted to see, really go for it, and even if he just ran it out of play, just something a little bit different, but that were ominous for me last night. Even it's harsh judging him on one game. I just thought...
He's nowhere near starting for me.
No, it's... But he won't change much, though, Neil. You know when the team comes out.
Yeah, it's true.
2 o'clock.
To be fair, going 4-2-3-1 like that killed the game with the wingers, because we just...
But Danny Williams is obvious one to come in, isn't he?
Can he do 90? Bakun is obviously going to be on the bench just in case.
I think you'll see Bakun on.
Could do with Alan Lee back. He's got a good memory.
Got him
the old
front,
Emirates.
I think, at the minute.
The legend.
What's your mouth out? He's thinking me.
I'm trying to cheer you up here.
About as strikers all night, and you'll bring out worst one ever.
I'm just thinking of beautiful flashbacks at Emirates, but yeah, no free hit. But if we're being brutally honest, it's unlikely.
They're on fire. They're unbeaten in 19
square
games.
Square in face, and an heavy one if you're not careful. But you never know.
I just hope we don't do what we did last year, because we threw the towel in last year, and it was really disappointing.
Yeah, we were awful.
Yeah, we turned up there to get beat.
Last half hour, we just stopped.
Kwana were involved for long periods of the game.
Kwana should have scored.
Yeah.
Should have scored.
That was nil. What it 0-0 that pan or 1?
I had a cracking kebab on it last season.
I love how you come out of the tube. You got what's really cool about Arsenal is you go out of the restaurant and people are selling you stuff from the garden. It's quite funny. So on this, I won't call it a show. That's a bit of a stretch. But on this podcast, we predicted a bottom 7 very early on this season, and it's not often we're right, but that bottom 7 that we predicted are now starting to get cut adrift. Newcastle winning at the minute means they kind of close it, but West Ham have moved up as we thought they would, and Wolves are sat in 13th on 16 points, which gives a 4-point gap to our bottom 7, and everyone who we predicted will be in that bottom 7 we are fully in the mix in the Cardiff are fighting that you know what you're going to get with them. They're looking good. Newcastle are rubbish, but they always pick up wins.
This is why you can't write Man U game off.
Palace got one.
For 70 minutes last night, battered Bournemouth, who are currently sat in 6th place above Man U. and arguably his best away performance this season, apart from Wolves, were at Everton, and they're 8th. They could be 6th tonight if they win. So it's that's why you can't write an Arsenal trip off just for the sake of writing it off because it's Arsenal. It's it's football, isn't it? Daft stuff happens.
Yeah, just so frustrating. We know what we need. Can we do it? But yeah, the Newcastle game is just looming large. Is an absolute huge. And then Mr. Wopston's back in town, isn't he? 2 weeks. Yeah, a week.
They couldn't just keep hold of Mark Hughes for a bit longer, could they? They just couldn't.
No, but yeah, I think.
End of the day, though, you can't. That's something else that's out of our control. We can only look after stuff in our doors, and they're all winnable. Not saying we will win them all, but they are all winnable. And they won't fancy coming to town either, because we're hard to play against at the minute, very hard. But it's the lack of, we've gone over it a million times, haven't we? It's cutting edge, and we haven't got it.
Yeah, I think it's time to pull up the stomachs on this. We know what the problem is. We know where we're going, but yeah, I don't think I've got a song for you lads, unfortunately. So
Come on.
It's a somber affair, mate. Two back-to-back defeats, but no, we go down to London. Shall we sing London Calling? Let me just, why not? I'll get the lyrics up. Come on, Matt, ad-lib while I get these up.
It's London calling to the faraway towns, is it?
Yeah.
Let battle commence and war has come down.
Yeah, because we're going there twice, aren't we, in a few weeks and that. So, yeah.
No editing, he said this week. Let's do it with no editing, lad.
You know where to go. Okay. God. The ice age is coming, the sun is zooming in. Engine stop running, the wheat is growing thin. So is our patience with our strikers, 'cause London is drowning. And we'll see you Saturday. That one, Bruce. Those more years in town. God.
Brilliant.
Is this the moment for Lee Fowler? It is. Take your place in Division 2, Huddersfield Town.
He's missed. Steve Simonson clears the flame of the goal and collapses in a heap of tears. Pate's got a chance. Pate scores! Jack Pate scores! Heffer's in there! Smith scores for Huddersfield Town! 3-2 Town! Forestieri, Danny Ward saves! Danny Ward saves! De Quattro's in, round De Gea! 2-0 Huddersfield Town! Christopher Schindler has a chance to write his name in Huddersfield Town legend. And he takes that chance!